Hello everybody, this is Wake Angel 2001, and I'm sure you weren't expecting this to come up so soon, did you? But yes, I did make improvements and slight modifications to both the Knuckles and Metal Sonic figures to deal with the quality control flaws that Jakks Pacific left us with. This doesn't count as a regular custom video because, I can't really stress how quickly this actually happened. It literally took less than an hour, just some minor repainting and a little bit of gluing. So let's start with the Knuckles figure because this was actually the fastest. In the review, I pointed out how the left knee looked floaty and wasn't inserted all the way. I thought this was because they hadn't drilled the peg deep enough for it to go in, but it turns out that the hole actually was deep enough. They just didn't push it in all the way. All I had to do was heat the legs slightly so the plastic would soften up, and then pop, the whole thing went in. Now, I tried to address the thing with his tilted neck. I thought that maybe his whole tilted head thing was because they had attached it sideways or slanted, but upon removing the head from the neck peg, I found that it is legitimately just made off-center. Every single part fits perfectly. There were absolutely no assembly errors with the Knuckles head. They meant for it to be that way, as mildly infuriating as it is. So, I actually can't fix that, so I just reattached it. But yes, the floaty knee issue at least is addressed, and the Knuckles figure is as good as I can get it. I still think that his elbows are a little bit too deeply bent to allow for proper posability, but, aside from that, everything's fine now. So the real modifications actually come in with Metal Sonic. And here I want to give a quick shout out to a fellow DeviantArt and YouTube user going by the name of ArtKing3000. He got his hands on these figures before I did, and he made these exact modifications to his Metal Sonic figure before I even got mine. So credit where it's due, he did do it first. So if you look, the Metal Sonic figure only has two flaws. One is that his dull gray color makes the figure just not look very vibrant, and he should be silver. And the second is that his left elbow goes out sideways, as if he's preparing to sashay down a catwalk at a fashion show. So let's address that. First thing, I modified the right elbow real quick. You notice in my video review that his left elbow can bend beyond 90 degrees, but his right elbow does not quite reach 90 degrees. This is just because of some plastic flashing in the inside of the joint, which just limits the bend. I use an X-Acto knife to simply carve the channel out and follow the shape, and boom, now the right elbow will be capable of bending just as deep as the left elbow. As for the left elbow, all I had to do was cut off the elbow joint. There's a convenient sculpted line right there that you just gotta follow. Rotated it 90 degrees so it faced forward and glued it back on. It was so simple. Oh, and if you look at the torso, there was an assembly error in this figure that I didn't notice in my review. He has two left thighs. I think the shin is still a right shin, but the thigh is a left one. I noticed this because of the way that the knee is sculpted. If you look at the right leg, you'll see that the knee stop is actually on the back instead of the front. This would be an issue, except the leg does appear to be symmetrical enough that this isn't too bad of an impediment. The knee can still bend 90 degrees and the figure can still stand straight. Although, it's not as bad as an issue when the 2.5-inch Knuckles figure had two left legs, but it is really irritating that Jakks Pacific is slipping with their quality control so badly. I think this might have to do with the fact that it's the first production run of the figures, and perhaps when they do later production runs, they'll actually be able to go over their parts a little better and make sure these things don't happen again. But Jakks, you are a big professional toy company that has been around for a really, really long time. You should be doing better than this. And then aside from that, everything is just painted silver. The face is painted silver, the fingers are painted silver, the ankles are painted silver, and there we go. doesn't he look so much better now? Like, look at him. First of all, the arms bend the proper way, so he is able to do more original poses rather than just the one that they intended for you to do for him. And I still don't like how the left shoulder armor droops when his arm is at the side, but there's really nothing I can do for it. They sculpted it that way because like I said, he's a victim of a pre-assumed pose. But it could be worse. His pre-assumed pose is nowhere near as noticeable as Knuckles' is. And yeah, there we go. That's just a properly silvered up Metal Sonic. He looks like a proper robot now and not like a dull gray boring thing. So thank you all for watching, and once again, Art King, credit where it's due. You did this first, so I'm just following your footsteps. And this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.